Sir, your voice is not audible.
Good morning. Good morning. Is my voice audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we'll discuss about JSP, right? In the beginning classes of the servlets, we learned where exactly we are writing these JSP pages and where we are writing these servlet pages, right? So when we are sending a request from the client machine, the server will receive that. To process that request, it will load the servlet in the same address space, right? And later on, based on the request, it will contact the database. It will get the required details and it will process that, formulate the HTTP response, and it will again send back to the client machine, right? This is what we learned with by taking one example. Also, we learned. You can take that in your mind. That picture you can take in your mind, so that where exactly we are writing this JSP pages. Okay, so wherever the presentation logic is there, there we can use this JSP. Wherever the business logic is there we can use servlet concept. Okay, now just to quickly go through with the points what listed here. So JSP is a server side programming technology. Just observe here. What is it says? What is it says? It is a server side programming technology. And in the previous class, we learned servlets are also server type programming technology, right? Okay. So this JSP is developed by Sun Microsystems in 1999. It is one of the fast way to create web pages to display dynamic data. It is very important, dynamic data. Okay. So if my web application, whatever I am designing, or whatever the application we are designing, it should act in a dynamic nature, right? So this JSP page contains both static as well as dynamic data. So I don't want to change the data as the time goes on, right? As the events are occurring, I don't want to change. I should keep the data as a static, right? So that also I can uh, achieve by using this JSP page, as well as dynamic data also I can include inside the JSP page. While writing the JSP page, we are going to include both HTML content as well as this Java content also can be included inside this JSP page. Okay, we can write HTML as well as the Java code also we can include inside the JSP page by using JSP tags. Right? So it helps to write web applications easily with less knowledge of Java. So the extension for JSP page is .jsp or JSPX. It was originally developed to replace the servlet, but now uh, the common practice is to use servlet and JSP together using MVC architecture. I hope you learned this MVC architecture, model view controller architecture, right? So basically, the original motive was to replace the servlet concept And later on, as we are having the advantages of both programming technologies, we have decided that let us use this JSP for presentation logic, and this is servlet for business logic. Okay, so later you just observe this third point what it says. Initially, this was developed to replace the servlet, but now common practice is to use servlet along with the JSP using the MVC architecture. So MVC architecture means again there the presentation logic, business logic, and the storage completely separated, right? Completely separated. So we can use one technology in one particular layer. Now, I hope this we already studied in the previous class. What is a servlet? Now we'll go with this one. What is differentiates this servlet from the JSP, or what differentiates this JSP from the servlet? A JSP is an interface on top of the servlet. Why? You just recall that picture what I gave in the introduction class, right? So we are going to invoke the servlet by making a request. So what is that request? Again, the request is from the browser. In the browser, we are designing the page, presentation logic page, right? JSP page. So now it is an interface on top of the servlets. So it is compiled into a Java servlet before execution. Then we should answer one question: why JSP? Why we should use JSP? It's very easier to write than servlets. Why? Because servlets requires complete Java programming knowledge, whereas JSP simply if we know the HTML knowledge, if we know the less knowledge of Java, then easily we can design the JSP page. That is what it is saying. Very easier to write than servlets. Designers can write HTML, programmers can write Java portions. Again, independent, that is pipelining concept comes here, right? It is independent. The designers can keep on designing by writing the HTML code, and the other side, the Java programmers can include this Java code inside this HTML tags. Okay, so first initially servlets came. After that, the JSP has been followed to that. And this already we learned what are the advantages of servlets. So what are the advantages of servlets? Performance wise, so it get loaded upon first request. So multi-threading can be achieved by the servlet. Simplicity, right? Why simplicity we are taking? We know that servlets will execute in the server address space, right? No specific client software is needed. A web browser is enough. So from the web browser, we can make a request for the servlet, right? These are the advantages of servlets we are having. So here, I hope you can understand the complete architecture of this JSP. Just observe here. You just observe the browser requests HTML. You just observe here. The browser requests HTML means we are generating the request. We will open the browser and we will request some page. Okay, we will request some page. So now the server sends this request to Java engine, where the Java engine contains all the servlet classes, beans, swings, all those things. All right. So it will send a request to the server engine, that is Java engine. Okay. Now, what is the use of this servlet? Just to see, if needed, the Java engine reads the JSP file. So what is this JSP? JSP is inside the HTML file. Kindly remember, inside the HTML, we are writing the JSP. Okay, it will read this, and it will come. This will be compiled, and the JSP is turned into a servlet. Okay, JSP is turned into a servlet and compiled and loaded. Now the servlet runs and generates this HTML. Now the Java engine sends this HTML to the server. Server again sends back to the client computer. Right? You just observe here. You just observe JSP. See, complete presentation logic we are placing inside the JSP. Okay. Now the JSP code where we are writing. We are writing this JSP code inside the HTML also we can write. Okay, inside this JSP page, we can also write the Java code. Okay, inside this JSP page, we can also write the Java code. So once we take an example program of simple JSP file, there we will understand uh, how to write and where to write the presentation logic. Okay. Just observe here the life cycle of a JSP page, right? So it can be defined as the entire process from its creation till destruction. Life cycle means it should take from the point where we have created and to the point where it has been destroyed, right? So it covers the entire process. What is there? So compile that. Compilation takes three steps: parsing JSP, turning the JSP into servlet, compiling the servlet. Okay. Next, initialization, execution, destroy. Compilation, initialization, execution, and the destroy. This is the life cycle of a JSP page. Compilation, initialization, execution, and destroy. That is what I told. So life cycle includes from the point from where it has been created to the point that page has been destroyed. But this span we will call it as a life cycle. So what will happen in this particular life cycle? Compilation, compile the JSP file. Once it is compiled, then initialize, execution, destroy. Okay, we can just have a look of this diagram. We just have a look of this diagram. So initialization we are having, it can perform by using the init method, JSP init. So execution, we know that service method. Once it is done, then finally it calls the destroy method so that it gets unloaded from the address space of the server, right? So this is what the life cycle. Okay, this is just for your knowledge purpose I am sharing. Okay, it is not there in our syllabus or something else. For your knowledge purpose I am sharing all this. So your syllabus covers this one. What are the tags of JSP we are having? What are the tags of JSP we are having? Okay, basically we are having 5 types of tags. Basically we are having 5 types of tags. Kindly observe here. Basically we are having 5 types of tags. In that, 3 are scripting elements. In that, 3 are scripting elements. What is the first tag? Scriptlet tag, scriptlet tag, expression tag, declaration tag. Okay, and 2 more we are having. Comment tag is there, directive tag is there. Okay, comment tag, directive tag is there. That we will see later. Okay, scripting elements we are having 3 tags are there. 3 tags. Kindly observe here. List and explain JSP tags. List and explain JSP tags. We are having 3 scripting element tags: scriptlet, expression, declaration. The remaining 2 we are having comment tag and the directive tag. Okay, we'll see one by one. What is this a scriptlet tag? Just observe here. A Java code can be written inside the JSP page using scriptlet tag. Why will use this scriptlet tag? We can use this scriptlet tag to write a Java code inside the JSP page. So this is what the syntax we are having, and this is what the tag we are having. Between this tag symbol, then we will write the Java source code. Okay, this is what the syntax of the scriptlet tag. How? For example, you can just see inside the HTML page. Inside the HTML page. Okay, inside the HTML page. Here you just see we are writing out.print hello world. Right? This is what the Java code we are having, and this Java code we are embedding inside the JSP tag, that is scriptlet tag. Okay, so this is one tag we are having. What is the next tag we are having? expression tag. Expression means the very simple difference is we know that expression means evaluation symbol will be there, that is equals. See, except this remaining thing is same. Okay, and here just we are writing a statement. Just we are writing a statement. The code is placed within the expression tag is returned to the output stream of the response. So no need to write out.print. Just observe here. We are not writing any out.print method. Why? Whatever you are writing inside the expression tag, whatever you are writing inside the expression tag, directly it will be written onto the output stream of the response. Okay. So here it requires minimum Java knowledge here. Whatever I just wanted to write onto the screen or onto the output stream, that I can directly write into the expression tag, or by using this expression tag I can display anything onto the standard output stream. Right? Just I use this tag and write whatever I want. I just wanted to print on the screen. Whereas you just compare now this, already you learned C language, you learned Java language, and also you learned C++, Python also you learned, right? You just compare now which is easy. Just we are writing one tag. Inside that tag we are writing the content what we need to write onto the output stream. Hence the point specifies it requires a minimum Java knowledge. To write a JSP file, it requires minimum Java knowledge. Even the designers also can write, right? Designers means those who will write the HTML code. Okay, just see, semicolon is not there, right? And the syntax is not there. Only thing we are using the expression tag. Okay, so this is what the expression tag specifies. Next is declaration tag. Declaration. Okay, it is used to declare the fields and the methods. You just observe this example. Int date is equals to 60. Int date is equals to 60. Right? Here just see. It is just a declaration. Just a declaration of a field. Similarly, we can also declare a method. So for that you are using the tag is except this entire thing is the same. So here this is one addition. This is one addition we are having, right? So this is declaration tag. Kindly remember this complete thing you should write. This complete thing you should write. Okay. Now, so whatever the code we are writing inside this tag is placed outside the service method of auto-generated servlet. Okay. So it doesn't get memory at each request. This is the syntax we are having, and this is the example we are having. Kindly go through with this once. Declaration. Just we are declaring here. Int data is equals to 60, and we know that expression tag we are using to display onto the screen. So here it is an expression tag, right? It is expression tag, and here it is declaration tag. So we declared one variable and we are displaying that onto the screen. Okay, and this is concatenation. So this string is concatenated with the value of this one. The string is value is. So it is a string. It is concatenated with the value of a variable. Okay, so kindly observe what is changing from tag to tag. Okay, I will come once again. Say in case of scriptlet tag, only this one. So inside this we are writing the Java code. With the case of expression tag, you just observe here. So here we are having equals. Only that is a little bit change we are having. With the case of declaration tag, you just observe. So this is a little bit change we are having. Okay, exclamatory mark we are having. So it is declaration tag. We can declare the fields as well as the methods by using this declaration tag. Okay, so this is the declaration tag. Next, as I told, we are having totally 5 types of tags. Next is comment tag. Comment tag. Okay, so comment tag, you just observe here. So this is the comment tag we are having. Again, the comment, we are having 2 types of comment tags. Okay, so these are hidden comments, means JSP comments we are having. These are hidden comments, JSP comments. We can also write this as a comment in a HTML content. Okay, so these are the comment types we are having, and the last one is directives. Directive tag. Okay, directive tag. Again here, so these directives are the messages that tells the web container how to translate a JSP page into its corresponding servlet page. There are 3 types of directives we are having. One is page directive, include directive, and tag lib directive. So commonly, if we are having this @ symbol, then it is a directive tag. So kindly observe here. If we are having this @ symbol, then it is a directive tag. Kindly remember scriptlet tag, right? Scriptlet tag, expression tag, declaration tag, comments, directives. These are the 5 types of tags, JSP tags we are having. In the examination, you should write all these 5. Okay, so with a little bit differences, the tags are different. That's it. Just see here. So @ symbol is there, means it is a directive tag. So here you are specifying attribute is equal to the value of that attribute you are specifying. For example, just see for the page, for page directive, whatever attributes you are writing here, that applies to the entire JSP page, whatever you are writing. Okay, so this attribute values are import, content type, extends, info, buffer, language, auto flash, session, page encoding, error page, is error page, like that. Next is include directives. Okay, this includes the contents of any resource, that may be a JSP file or HTML file or a text file. So if I want to include, so then I can go with the include directive. You just see here, it is include, and here it is page. So it is a page directive we are having, and here it is a include directive. So here, what is the advantage of this? Reusability. If already existing file, if I am including that, then it saves a lot of resources, right? So that is what it includes, the original content of the included resources at the page translation time. Next, tag lib directory. Tag lib directory we are having. So it is used to define a tag library that defines many tags. You can use tag library descriptor file to define the tags. So this is how we can write this tag lib directory here. Okay, so at the outset, you should remember list and explain JSP tags. So we are having 5 types of tags are there: scripted tag, expression tag, comment tag, directive tag, declaration tag, right? So based on the changes, you give one syntax and the example. Okay, clear?